Hi there. Welcome to the Pod People Presscast, a special edition with video this time, you might notice. Joining us today is a very special guest, one of Alaska's top chefs and authors of everything food. It is the Alaska from Scratch Cookbook, Seasonal, Scenic, Homemade. Maya Wilson, how you doing, Maya?
I am great. I drove over the pass in the snow and the weather this morning, and I'm ready to go.
So you live in Kenai?
Kenai.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a bit of a haul, but quite a book you put together here. I mean, it's visually stunning. It has recipes, and beyond that, it has some incredible personal stories that you share, and it kind of intermingles between the three. How did the concept for the book come to you?
You know, I call it part cookbook, part memoir, part love letter to Alaska, and that's really what it is. I think it would be a shame to write about food in Alaska and not show Alaska off to, the lower 48, to the globe. And because we have a beautiful state, we have beautiful resources. And so I really wanted to really show our state and where we live and what we have here, but also talk about my story and let the readers get to know me a little better from, beyond what they know of me in my column or what they know of me from my blog. Because you put a book out there and you really want it to represent who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going back to people who may not know you from your column or your blog, tell us a little bit about who you are, when you came to Alaska, and what your writing is all about.
Okay, well, I've been in Alaska since 2011 is when I moved up here, and I started the blog kind of late 2011, and mostly because I lived way out in Nikiski and far from the grocery store. It was, a long way, so if you run out of something, you kind of have to make it yourself, and things are expensive or you don't have access to them. And so that's kind of how the blog started, was that feeling of, we talk about winter deprivation, and I moved up in the winter, and that feeling really cultivated in me a desire to be cooking more from scratch and doing things more homemade. And that's how it
Well, it seems
started.
like a lot of people fall in love with Alaska, with the scenery, with everything about it. Cuisine, though, it seems like Alaska doesn't really have a defined cuisine. Would you agree with that? And what can you do to kind of make that happen?
That is kind of true. I think it's really improved even since I moved here in 2011. I think that the food scene has really blown up in Alaska, and I'm so excited about that. I'm pumped to be part of that. I think one of our main things that we have going for us is our seafood. Wild Alaska seafood, sustainable, delicious, healthy. Like, that should be our food scene.
Is there a flavor, though, a spice, a sort of defining aspect to the cuisine that you see?
Well, I don't know about, I wouldn't say spice necessarily, but we have our, we can forage for wild mushrooms, and we have our berries. We have so many great things, and in the summer when we grow our beautiful produce that grows to gargantuan sizes, I mean, we have so much to be proud of and so much to show off.
Yeah, and the photography in this is just incredible. Are you kind of a professional photographer or what as well, or is it kind of a hobby for you?
Well, I started being a photographer on my blog, and I've learned over the years kind of how to do it better and better as the blog has grown and as I've had more practice. And so, and then the scenic photos, Alaska is really photogenic. I mean, this is a beautiful place. And so I feel like I just try to represent it well in my photos and show, kind of what we experience every day.
Yeah, it seems like cookbooks in this day and age are a little passé, and that you can Google any recipe you want for anything and get stuff. But it seems like you've kind of reinvented it in a lot of different ways by making it so personal. Was it almost? I mean, you talk about your, growing up, poor on food stamps, and how you had to sort of make food last. How did you come up with that idea of making it so personalized?
I think it's important when you write a book that you put yourself into it, and that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted people to understand what goes into the food that I make, and it's my history, it's my context, and growing up poor and with food insecurity really does inform the way that you appreciate food and the way that food comforts you. And I think that helping people understand that I'm just not one of those food bloggers out there that are shiny and polished, and a lot of them have a lot of money, and that's just not me. I do this because I really love food, and I care about nourishing people, and I love this state, and I care about putting Alaska even more on the map.
The other kind of personal thing I took from your writing in there was you kind of associated a lot of, I don't know if self-worth is the word, a lot of self-esteem with preparing food for people and kind of filling that role. And you kind of share a lot with that, which is kind of surprising too for a cookbook, that you're kind of sharing that much sort of inner psychology.
Yeah.
Was that kind of strange at all, foraging into that field?
Well, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable like that and putting it out there on the shelves, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But, it's real and it's true. And I think a lot of self-actualization has happened as a part of writing this book, and as a part of being a food blogger. You learn to find your voice and put yourself out there. And having a food column too, you're in the newspaper every week and you're getting lots of comments and feedback, and you learn to find your voice.
Sure.
So.
Okay, great. Well, this is the Alaska from Scratch cookbook. Where can people find this, and how can they go about getting it?
Well, they can get this anywhere books are sold. You can find it here locally at Barnes & Noble. You can pick it up at Bear's Tooth tonight at a book signing that we're doing.
Okay.
And then also you can get it online at Amazon or barnesandnoble.com, iBooks.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming by very much, Maya. The book, once again, is the Alaska from Scratch cookbook. You don't want to miss this. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Read about Maya in this week's edition of the Anchorage Press. See her column every week in the ADN, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and pick up a copy of this. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Maya.
Thank you.